So it's all to play for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Hi, everybody, and welcome to our team sheet tantrum for West Bromwich Albion. Coming up in the next hour and 12 minutes, and local derby. I think well more of a derby. I don't think we need to go down the whole Wolves thing where we were mentioning this about whether it was a derby or not. This one is because it's just hits a small bit more closer to home. I think when we play West Brom, but it's an absolute belter of a day here in Ireland. Both myself and Paddy. I actually don't look like I got a colour. I did. There's just a light shining directly on me here, so I actually look like I've just come. I'm a corpse just up out of a coffin. I was very nearly was corpsed a minute ago because I fell asleep in a hammock, and by God, did I not want to get out of that hammock. That was it was. I had to. I know hammocks are difficult to get out of at the best of the time, but I had to peel myself out of it. It was so peaceful. Paddy, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm sunburnt. I've got all my painting done. Waiting on my takeaway to come about 6:20, and crack open a few bottles of beer and ready for the big kickoff of what you rightfully say is the derby, the only derby we have this year. I'm looking forward to it. So I'm so convinced. I wore my Emi Martinez shirt today. This is the day he gets his 15th clean sheet and equals the record. I'm sure of it. Bring it on.
Bring it on, indeed. Do you know what? Actually, I just realized as I was coming into the room here to do the podcast, I realized just out of pure coincidence, I haven't worn. I've got this Aston Villa hat that I've worn backwards pretty much when I was watching every game, and I'm getting to the stage where I'm superstitious at this stage. Pretty much when I was watching every game from September to Christmas time, and I very rarely worn it. So I think I'm going to go back to wearing the hat, lads. It's just going to have to happen. No, bring even superstition into it again. So there's no excuses. No excuses now for Aston Villa. Paddy is Emi Martinez top on. I've got my hat on again. It's 8-0 win, Aston Villa. That's what I'm thinking. It's a bit of Aston Villa news. Well, I'm going to call it news. I'm going to call it loose conjecture more so than anything else over the last couple of days. Yesterday morning, we were linked to a Turkish goalkeeper for 17 million. I will be honest with you, he is somebody that's in pretty in demand, but I don't know a whole pile about him. His name is completely gone out of my head at the moment. I think it's Kadir. I think his name is. If anybody there can rescue me here now, I started talking about him and then I realized I can't remember what his name was. But goalkeeper for 17 million, not too sure, especially when we've got Martinez. But I do think that it probably does maybe signal a situation that Tom Heaton might be, for the exit door. There was a rumor that Man City and I think Arsenal were looking for Tom Heaton. Man United and Arsenal were looking for Tom Heaton. In the summer, so might signal an end to his tenure with Aston Villa.
Yeah, I kind of hope that doesn't happen. We've got an established Premier League goalkeeper on the bench, and I think that's where we need to be at for fear of any suspensions or injuries or whatever. And Tom Heaton is more than adequate to come in there, and I'd be safe enough to have him even there at the moment. So I'm hoping he stays. I'm hoping this is all pie in the sky that we're spending that kind of money on a goalkeeper. But we'll find out towards the end of the year. Like the fact that the clubs that you've mentioned are interested in putting him on their bench for next season. Why can't we be that club? Why can't we push on? Maybe there's an opportunity to play more games with them. I don't know whether it will be in Dean Smith's mindset to play a cup goalkeeper, whether there's going to be enough cup games as a Villa player for him than there would be as a Man U player or another team that qualifies for Europe. But look, we'll see.
Sorry, rescuing me there in the chat. Ugurcan Shakir, I'm going to say is how you pronounce it. I've been working with a Turkish team. I've been working with guys in Turkey for the last 2 weeks. So my Turkish pronunciations are actually not that bad, but I don't think I've gotten that one correct. It's been hilarious though, because when I've been trying to pronounce people's names, I've been thinking back to footballers' names, and trying to figure it out that way. But they've had a really hilarious laugh at me trying to pronounce names, especially Turkish names. It seems to be well thought of, the goalkeeper, Chakir, I'm going to call him. That goalkeeper seems to be well thought of. 17 million. Look, that's probably the going rate for a decent sub goalie if you're going to be, if you're going to be in the Premier League at this stage. But we do have a decent goalkeeper already, so I'm going to file that one over. Less likely unless Tom Heaton forces a move. Another one though that came up today was Todd Cantwell. Todd Cantwell seemed to be the name on the broadsheets and the tabloids' lips this morning.
I had a right little chuckle at the Daily Mail headline. Todd Cantwell brought in to replace Jack Grealish.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Different players, different positions, but don't let that get in the way of anything, Daily Mail. Do not let that get in the way of anything. What was the last what do you make of Todd Cantwell? Have you seen anything of him recently? He's been productive enough in the championship, a very, very attacking team, but
yeah, I don't think he's top half Premier League standard. I'm sure there's people that will disagree with me. If we want to push on, I think we got to be signing a better caliber of player, but that's just my opinion. He is a half decent player. Anytime I've watched him, he's been quite good. So I just don't see it. Honestly, I don't see it.
Not too sure in him either. He's he would be fine for 30 million. I think you could invest that wiser. I think so. I just do. I just think you could get better for 30 million. But then again, what do I know? I said sign Ross Barkley for 30 million in December, along with everybody else. So I pay 30 million for Cantwell before I pay for Ross Barkley, though, and I think that's that's undeniable. But
I actually read something this morning, Neil, and I don't know how true it was. I meant to send it on to you earlier. Somebody was claiming that Ross Barkley was suffering from long COVID.
Potentially, yeah.
We might need to rein in our criticisms of him. Look, we don't know, so
until he comes out and says it,
Yeah, and if that's the case, he probably should say it. That's just my opinion on it. But
absolutely,
if that's the case, come out and tell us and change fan opinion. So that would lead me to believe that it's not true, but could potentially be.
You never know. You absolutely never know. Maybe he doesn't want to use it as an excuse. Maybe it's his medical history anyway. At the end of the day, but we'll see a few things with that. Todd Cantwell would be interesting. I just the money for me would that would kill me. But then again, there's been a lot of players that have been relegated and have. He's only 23 years of age. He's just gone 23 as well, I think. So, he's not exactly a finished product either, and plays in a nice system there with Norwich. So I wouldn't dismiss it completely out of hand. I just think 30 million is very rich for anyone's bones. They were talking about Jack Grealish going for that, and he completely destroyed the championship in his own. And Cantwell isn't there. He isn't at Jack Grealish's level, and plus he plays in a different position for me as well. Couple of comments, Paddy. Shall we look towards the comments? Philip Drew. Hello, Philip. Philip is hopeful that Kessler gets a chance today. I think that's really why we're tuned in today, is to see if Ken Hayden Kessler is there, or if I presume he's definitely going to be on the bench anyway, because we've got no cover. But if he's actually in the starting lineup or not, it's going to be really interesting. And Connor, all the way from Brazil, again, never misses a show. Fair play, thanks a million. Hopefully a clean sheet and a few young players to start or be on the bench. Yeah, I think a lot of Villa fans are kind of hoping for that in this one as well. Yeah. Hello to Lewis and Delboy as well, as always. Hungry Hippo says, have we heard anything about Wesley's fitness? I think it was just kind of something that Dean Smith threw in the press conference.
He said he's going to be in the squad. That doesn't mean he'll actually make the bench, but it appears that he will travel with the team today. So he'll be there, and he probably thereabouts. You might see him on the bench. It'd be interesting to see. Personally, I don't see it just yet, but we'll see. Yeah,
Dermot. How are they all in Longford today? I saw the Longford hurlers are back training today. Dermot wants to see Louis Barry get 15 minutes if the game is going our way today. Has to be on the bench first, I suppose, really, and that's we're all looking forward to seeing this trained with the team, with first team this week, along with Carney Chukwuemeka, Ken Hayden Kessler, and Philogene Bides as well. So there's as good a chance as we've had all year to see some of these players at least get a few minutes in the game today. Hungry Hippo has an interesting one, and you messaged me this during the week. San Maximin has been on fire lately. Any chance we could use him in our attack? I think we could. I think if you play him and Jack either wing, I think that you've got two dribblers, and I think the days of when we played West Ham, whereby they put two right backs on the field, Fredericks, that's gone because you won't be able to do that. But I wouldn't say no to him.
Of the established Premier League players that we can purchase, he'd be top of my list. I think he's the kind of player that we can bring on if as we spoken, I think it was the review of Man City when we said we need to be signing the caliber of player to come on and change the game when we don't have Jack, or if we need three. We need three players of that caliber, and St. Maximin would fit that from my point of view.
Delboy says try and get Tammy back. Absolutely, and I still harbour a thought that that's exactly what this brain trust in the front office, if you want to call it there, between Dean Smith and the guys. I think that they do want to get Tammy back because I think Dean Smith really believes in him. And look, he's banging in goals in the Premier League as it is. If we got him, it would be absolutely fantastic. There's no downside to getting Tammy. Cornelius says, hey lads, I'm a fellow Limerick man. I love the podcast. We're seriously lacking a bite in the middle. Would you say Bazuma from Brighton is a good shout? Absolutely. I have a darling from RC Lens in France that I would love them to sign. Czech Ducare is an absolute banger of a player. I mean, he's only 22 and he's just Patrick Vieira. Like, that's all you get when you see him is Patrick Vieira. But Bazuma, it's interesting because I think Ducare and Bazuma actually came out of the same nursery as such in Africa, so it's an interesting one that you do bring that up. GMCK25 says Kessler apparently in youth FA Cup action, so Elmo it is so interesting because that means that we will have no right back cover on the bench, which is something that would worry me.
We have breaking
news. Let us bring up the team. Is the team there? Is the team up?
Yeah.
It is. Oh, I missed that. Scroll straight past it. Talk amongst yourselves. We will have
big news on the bench. Big news incoming from the bench.
Incoming from the bench. Is it big news because he's a big man? A big tall...
news. Big news in the starting lineup as well.
Big news in the starting lineup. Martinez, El Mohammedi, Kanza, Mings, Target. Whoops. Oh, Ross Barkley's in there. Jesus.
That's the big news.
Kanza, Mings, Target, Douglas Luiz, McGinn, Traore, Barkley, Ghazi, and Watkins.
Take off our name there, Neil. We can see who's on the bench.
Oh, yeah. Thanks.
Don't be leaving them hanging.
And on the bench is Heaton, Engels, House, Taylor, Nakamba, Jacob Ramsey, Philogene Bides, Davis, and Wesley. Everybody looks like we've got strikers to choose from. Praise the Lord. First time in nearly 2 years. Jesus wept. Oh my God. Yeah. And look, it's great to see Philogene Bides there. I definitely think that, look, if we're 2-0 up, we will see Philogene Bides, I think, in this game.
I think so. I think this is probably the most widespread amount of subs. I mean, position-wise, the amount of subs that we've seen, that we've got people to come on and change games here. This is going to be really interesting. And of course, the big news on the team sheet, the starting team sheet, is Ross Barkley, who we've spoken about, potentially having long COVID, as I heard this morning. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really enthused by that. This is the first time I would say, and I'm open to correction on this, first time definitely since Christmas that we've had more or less an even split, 4 defensive players, including Nakamba there, because he's obviously a defensive midfielder, and 4 more attacking players there. Dean Smith finally has options, I think, on the attacking side of things. Saying that, look, they're not exactly brilliant options, but they're options nonetheless. And they're if we need to kind of look and try and change something, I think that we can do. I suppose realistically, looking at the back 4, Elmo is in there, no Kane, Hayden, Kessler. So GMCK was dead right there on that one. But I would imagine if shit hits the fan and Elmo has to go off, that we're going to be looking at maybe Kanza going to right back and House or Engels coming in there. I don't envisage they put Neil Taylor right back, or they could just put McGinn in right back because they could play McGinn absolutely anywhere. But it's a
I would imagine I'm with you on the House coming in and Conza switching the right back, which he has done before. So do you want to call up the opposition team?
Let's have a look at the opposition team there, and we'll take a few of the comments there in the opposition. Apologies, talk amongst yourselves. This isn't Make Great TV. That does it when you're waiting for me to go.
One notable change is O'Shea is out for a joy.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So that could. Let's have a look here now.
I tell you this for nothing. They're fucking shite at putting stuff up on their Twitter page. But we all knew that.
It's never taken me since our team sheet to find their Twitter page.
There we go. I can't make that any bigger because if it'll make me click into their website and I don't want to give them any traffic. Sam Johnston in goals. Furlong, Ajoy, Bartley, Townsend, Yokusulu, Gallagher, Maitland-Niles, Robinson, Diagne and Pereira. They've gone pretty attacking, Paddy. I think, you're going to be looking at Gallagher and Maitland-Niles holding in the middle of midfield. Well, probably Gallagher and Yokusulu holding there, and then Maitland-Niles will probably play a bit further forward. Pereira probably, maybe on one of the wings, probably on the right side. Robinson on the left and Diagne up front. I can't see them. I just have no idea how they're going to play a back three with who they've got in the field there.
No, it's definitely not a back three anyway. That's just what I was checking when I saw that O'Shea was out. I think that's a really strange move. But anyway, I know Ajoy was much.
He's a brute.
He was a huge difference when they come on against Leicester the other night and really shore things up. But there's a big difference in shoring things up when you're a flat back four as opposed to a five. So it'll be interesting to see. I don't like that Bartley fella. I think he can be got at. I think he's our target for tonight if we're gonna play anyway through the middle. I don't rate him as a footballer. I still can't believe he's playing Premier League footballer and the captain of a club. But anyway, that's my opinion. Maitland-Niles, I would imagine you've probably got Gallagher and Yokozulu. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
With a name like that, he sounds like he should be playing for the Blues, not the Baggies. And Robinson probably on the wing, which we saw the other night, but he come off at half time, and Pereira in behind Diagne, possibly. Diangana on the wing, on the substitute bench, I should say. Hal Robson, Canoe. There's a little bit there that can come on and hurt us. So score early and score often. That's what I want to happen tonight.
Yeah, I'm thinking that maybe they are playing a three at the back, and I'm thinking maybe they've put Furlong in there. Like, I know that he plays predominantly would have played right back, but I think he's going to be playing inside there. I'm just looking up something here. I think potentially he's going to play in there, so that would be their back three with Townsend on the left. Probably you're looking at Maitland-Niles on the right, Gallagher and Yokusulu in the middle. Holding in the middle with Pereira, and then maybe Robinson and Diagne up front. It's going to be interesting. I think I'm going to be interested to see that. I like Ollie Watkins up against this back line regardless, because like if you look at their team there, I don't see a left back. That's kind of what had me scratching my head. But I don't see like. Well,
it has been Townsend, hasn't it?
Yeah, but like, come on.
Is he actually a left back? I don't know.
They've been playing left wing back with him. He's been playing left wing back in a back five, in a back four. That would be ballsy. That would be ballsy. And remember, this is Big Sam we're talking about here. So I don't think this. I don't know. Could be wrong. But for me, I don't know. Will that be the situation? Let's get rid of that team. Let's get rid of that dirt from our screen. Let's go look at a few more comments. So where did I leave off? There? So Cornelius, a couple of shouts here. So I'll take them in chronological order here. So John Steele says Buendia would be a lesser feat in Cantona for him. Maybe he'll give Norwich another season. I don't know. Will he be a lesser feed than Cantwell? He might be. No, he might be. When I heard 30 million, I thought that would be more Buendia's price range. I didn't think it would be Cantwell's, but oh yeah, obviously, let's take him for sure, because he's been the standout player in the championship this year. I think for sure, super player. After maybe this guy that Marvin says, Ivan Toney. Genuinely, I couldn't put a price on Ivan Toney. No idea. They're going to want more than they paid for Watkins, and that's a scary thought. That's a scary thought in a way, because while he's banging him in for fun, to catch lightning in a bottle twice coming up from the championship like that, and for 30 million, I don't know. I like him. Yeah. I'm terrified of the price that they might have to pay.
I suppose a lot depends on the fact of whether we're looking at Brentford promoted, which is a big possibility as well. So, it might be harder to prize them away if that's the case, because they need to hang on to what they have.
There is a guy from Brentford that I would love. Can never remember his name again. He is German midfielder. What's his name? Plays kind of a holding midfielder role for them. Very good player. Can't remember his name. I'm just actually going to Google it because it will annoy me otherwise. Let me put up a couple of more comments though while I'm doing this. Noel says that today is a must-win. Absolutely. Not must-win because we, just for morale, I think, more than anything else within the team, you don't want to finish so poorly, over the course of the season. Del, did you answer your door? There's a man outside with a big bag of cans. That's what we like to hear at this day and age. Sai says that Anwar likes a goal against the Tesco's whenever he plays. Hopefully, Emmy gets his clean sheet record. He deserves it. Absolutely. Yep. I think given the opposition in the injury list, this is a good selection. I think that's true. I think that is right. That what you have to take into account the injuries that we have. They've got a few injuries as well. I am interested though. Dingana's on the bench. They paid 18 million for him. We were in the running for him, and it just hasn't rightly kicked off for him. This year. So it's he's an interesting kettle of fish, that guy. Look,
just a quick one here. My go-to site for looking at how a formation might line up is suggesting that this is a 4-1-4-1 from the Baggies, with Yokozuna in front of the back four, and then the attacking four of Robinson, Maitland, Niles, Gallagher, and Pereira. Interesting. Townsend at left back. Yeah,
I think so too. Hungry Hippo says, I'd love to see Wesley through the middle with Watkins on the right and Jack on the left. I think that's the dream. I think that's what we'd love to get that at least once or twice at the end of the season, because I think Dean Smith has that in his arse pocket for next year for sure, or at least another striker. Like if Tammy comes in, good and all as Ollie Watkins has been, I don't think we're going to go to two up top. I think maybe Watkins moves out to the right, and I think he'll be okay with that as well. Yeah. It gives us fluidity, I think, in that the front three in that aspect. And once again, it stops teams from just doubling up on Jack Grealish. Glad to see Wesley back, says Philip. Absolutely. Noel says Barkley, long COVID, long fucking laziness. I think that one speaks for itself. Yeah. Dara's in. He can't understand how the Campbell is not starting. His only bad game all year came in a double defensive midfielder role last week, getting punished for Smith's choice. Luis should be able to play further forward. That's a great comment. That is an actual great comment. He is. It was his only bad game all year, and his positioning was out of whack, I think. But they did play him in a double defensive midfielder role last week.
Well, let's look at it this way. Has he decided to go more attacking today? And we'll play McGinn closer to Barkley. It'll be interesting. Yeah,
it'll be interesting, is right. But I think the point that I think there's more interesting in this is that Luis should be able to play further forward, and we haven't seen him play well when he's been playing further forward in this team. Yeah. Had a couple of shots, actually, the most shots of any Villa player last week against City, but he really should be able to play a small bit further forward. He's pigeonholed himself into that defensive midfielder position, which he's pretty good at. But he can play a small bit further forward. That's what he did for Girona. So we need to see that if that is going to be the case for him. Cornelia says that Barkley needs to bring it today. Been given plenty of chances. Absolutely. This is
100%. This is last chance saloon.
Absolutely. We started off with the Will Kane, Hayden Kessler play right back, and I think the narrative has now shifted to Barkley get the finger out. I think really is what this is what this has changed to. Paddy, Gary Byrne need a big win today. It's 3 points against the Tesco Bags, buddy.
Man, Gary, good to hear from you. Gary's one of the original Irish Lions.
Excellent. Dara says you only love him because he's German midfielder. That's who he was talking about. I do love German midfielders. I've got an irrational love for German midfielders. But his name is Vitaly Janilet. I think it's how you pronounce it. 22 years of age, 6 foot, defensive midfielder. Literally, Brentford have plucked him out out from Bochum, and he wasn't really tearing up any trees of Bochum, but they have him playing in an absolutely fantastic position there, a deep line playmaker kind of a situation with him. He has Dietmar Hamann written all over him in a lot of aspects. I just think he's very good. And there's Dietmar Hamann. That's probably it's nearly even cultural appropriation what I did there by just picking a German defensive midfielder and telling everybody that this German defensive midfielder is very like you. I don't know. I didn't mean any offense by it if anybody was offended. Mervyn says playing with Barkley is like playing with 10 men. All he does is jog around. Davis or Ramsey would have been a much better option. Don't know what Smith sees in Barkley. I don't think Davis would have been a better option, but I understand what you mean. But getting another body onto the field and maybe playing 2 up top with Davis instead of Barkley. This is definitely last chance saloon.
I think it is last chance saloon, and just trying to get into Dean Smith's head for a second, I believe he probably thinks this is the game for him. This is the game that he can go and dictate from his position. So I think his last chance to see that. And let's be honest, he was super for the first half of the season. If he could pick up a great performance today and push on for the rest of the season, we'd be only too happy to have him. I know he's finished in many people's eyes, and he's finished in my eyes. But look, we'll see.
We'll see indeed.
Give him the benefit of the doubt, though. There's no point in being negative at this stage.
Oh, don't worry. We call it as it is after the game. Of course. I think for now we give him the benefit of the doubt. Lewis Newman says that Bertie T is going to have a solid game. I want to back him to score, but he just didn't do a tap the last game, so I'm not going to because I want to put on my charity bet later on. I don't have a clue. Oh, there we go. There's my bet. 3-1. Anwar Al-Ghazi. Oh, shots on target. Yeah, fuck it. I'm going to go for it. Anwar Al-Ghazi and John McGinn to have 1 or more shots on target each. 3-1. I'll put a few pound on that. Good stuff. There we go. Proceeds will go to Henry the Brave.
I'm feeling very positive, Neil. Even after the team sheet selection that we've looked at. The more I think about it, I'm expecting a good performance out of Barkley today.
So am I.
It's due. So let's be having it against a team who's, they're in the shit. There's no way out of it for them at this stage. Unfortunately, we're not going to have a derby next season. But, I think we have to go and put a few goals on them tonight.
I think so too. Dean, glad to see Wes bring them on 20 minutes to go. Make teams have to think about something different when they play us. Mix it up. I think that Wesley being on the bench means we're going to see Wesley at some stage. I think we're going to see him at some stage. I don't think he's there just to take up a space.
This is not going to change things overnight. This is going to be a difficult one for Wesley. It's not. This is not going to be easy after being out for so long. So I hope guys are not too harsh on him starting off again. He might even get 20 minutes tonight. We'll see.
That I'd be inviting people on to talk to me and tell me why they would be harsh on Wesley. If Twitter was going mad, I'd be inviting people on. I think to just to see what the mindset is there. Someone coming back after 460 days, was it? I think Philip said 460. Was it 480 days?
480, I think. Yeah.
480 days. Like Jesus. I can't even remember 480 days ago. Like 480 days ago, there was no such thing as COVID-19. Like fucking hell.
God's says, on you, despicable me, who made that tackle.
Exactly. Yeah. Dara says, love the bet selection and fly house the stream free. Yeah, well, bet responsibly. Only lose what you can afford to lose, and when the fun stops. You know, that's what we always say. Daniel Gallagher, hopefully no relation to Connor. Connor Gallagher playing for the Baggies, but be surprised if Wes gets anything more than a couple of minutes at the end. Yeah, well, absolutely. All depending on the game. You know, we could
Depends
end up
whether we pick up any injuries or cards or whatever. Yeah. So there's a lot water under the bridge before he even gets to run out. So we'll see.
Yeah. Cool. Oh, did I get you in trouble? Sorry if you had us on speaker. I don't even remember saying anything. we
read out a message with an F-bomb in
it. Maybe we did. I can't remember. Maybe my head is too tight. Anyway, what are we drinking for the game? Cornelius asks. I think I would just have a good strong cup of tea.
Are you? I have a few bottles of Tiger in the fridge ready for tonight.
That's the job.
I have a bit of a hangover, so I need to be sorted before Monday kicks in. So cure the hangover this evening with a few bottles of Tiger.
Absolutely. We will be. Well, actually, I'm just going to have a post-production meeting here with Paddy. Paddy, are you free to do the post-game review afterwards tonight instead of tomorrow?
I should be if I don't drink too many Tigers. Absolutely.
That's okay, because we do get quite a lot of comments asking when we're going to have an opening of a can on a podcast again. So so hopefully if we win, we'll hear an opening of a can. I think the last time we won against Leeds, did I have a bottle of whiskey on the go or something like that for that? I think I did. I think I had some Scottish whiskies. I think I
definitely had a whiskey on one of the podcasts.
Yeah. That'll tell you an awful lot about the whiskey. The fact I don't remember. Oh, watch this. We need to get ourselves some of that. Connor Hennessy says, I'm going drinking a beer called Mega Beer. It must be good. Like, why would they have called it Mega Beer if it wasn't unbelievably good? That's the clue is in the name.
I'll tone down the name of this, but I was visiting a friend yesterday who was drinking a beer called Effing Hell.
And that's why you're hungover today, is it?
Oh no, I was drinking I think it's Indian beer, Cobra. I was drinking. That's why I have a head today. But I wonder how his head is today after drinking that one.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, there's only one way to find out. Send him a text and see what the crack is. Send him a text and see what the crack is. Guys, look, we've got 40 minutes before the game. Get your cans out of the fridge. Get yourself nicely parked in front of the TV. Lock the kids outside or whatever you need to do. To make sure that you have yourself in front of the game. What do we say our predictions were, Paddy?
I predicted 3-0 anyway. I'd be tempted to even add another one to that. I'm feeling that confident at the moment, and it's Sunday night. We do our best work on Sunday night, isn't that right, Neil?
Our best work on Sunday night, after 7 p.m. Yeah. We've been rocking it all year, and that should I say? But I went with 2-1, but I think I am going to go with 2-0. I think now. I'm confident. I'm feeling confident.
Tonight for the record for Emmy.
Yeah, absolutely. Connor's asking us, will we do a live during a game? We always said that we wouldn't get into the watch-alongs because anything could happen. It's very much an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah. Connor, there's an Irish guy that does a Liverpool watch-along, and it's comedy gold. If you get I don't even know what he's called because I just get the videos when he does something absolutely bizarre.
Arena, I think is what it's called. It's Anfield Arena or something. But he's hilarious. He's absolutely hilarious. But we might do one for the last day of the season. We'll see. I might do it my own. We'll see if Paddy isn't up for sitting down. I know Paddy likes his comfort to watch the game. We'll see. The only problem I'll have is when I'm watching it, I'll be probably on some sort of Sky Go app, and I'll be 90 other apps are available. I'll probably be about 90 seconds behind, so there won't really be a watch along. That might be the only problem. But we'll see. We'll get back to you on that one. Absolutely.
No, we'll do, Neil. When it's safe to do so, we'll do a watch along with the two of us in the same room, and we'll have a can and we'll have a chat, and maybe that's a better idea.
You know what we'll do? We'll do it from McGettigan's below in Limerick as well, and that'd be some crack. We'd have any old fella pop up in the background. There'll be your crack.
And Cornelius can come in and have a beer with us.
Absolutely. Dara, what time is the after show? I don't know. I don't know. Will we do it live? We'll see. But it will be up on YouTube and on podcasts. Any podcast channels.
Depends on the result whether we do it live.
Depends on the result. Yeah. Depends on the result. Yeah. Absolutely, guys. Go get yourself sorted. 35 minutes to kick off there, thereabouts. Thanks so much to everybody for listening and for watching. Hopefully Aston Villa go away and do the business this evening, and all that's left to say is up the Villa. I'm not going to forget
the Villa. Go on.